Zimbabwe muri kuzviona sei, hey, oh, shall remain. Oh, yours truly miss a one blow. Foolish government, yeah, me raspi. Urumende yemageva, akatumira mbava. Urumende yemageva, tiri kutongwa netoti. Emerson uri geva, takatumira mbava, geva. Matoti, urumende yembava, tiri kutongwa negeva mbava. Toti, takatumira. From bad to worse, tishiva kuna baba bona.
So many Zimbabweans and South Africans want to understand why the president of the most powerful country in Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, had to go on an unscheduled emergency working state visit in Zimbabwe over the weekend on a Sunday, May Day holiday long weekend without his dignitaries and was not received by the dignitaries of Zimbabwe. And the media of South Africa, together with the presidents of South Africa, cannot give a clear answer. And the reason they cannot give you a clear answer is because President Cyril Ramaphosa went to Zimbabwe to stop a coup, because President Emmerson Mnangagwa and his so-called Guptas have created a crisis in Zimbabwe in trying to amend the constitution to prolong the stay in power of Emmerson Mnangagwa. And as such, a coup is about to happen, and President Ramaphosa had to try and stop that coup. So this is where you need to start paying attention, because this is where things start getting tricky. President Cyril Ramaphosa is briefed on a Saturday evening that a coup is about to take place in a fellow revolutionary country. And he decides that he has to go as early as possible to go and fix this problem without letting the world know, because he wants to bring African solutions to an African problem without Western or white interference. So this is the reason that he cannot really tell South Africans what is happening, and it's also the reason why he can't tell his GNU partners, the DA, what is going on, because he knows that the DA hates Zimbabwe and they'll be happy to know that there is a crisis. So he goes there to try and sort this thing out quietly. This thing is meant to be a secret. So in a normal state, with President Ramaphosa understanding the delicacy around this issue, he would brief only a few seasoned diplomatic government officials in his government, and they would fly over to Zimbabwe in secrecy without letting the media know. On the Zimbabwean side, the Zimbabwean government would also have seasoned bureaucrats and seasoned government officials who are politically mature, understand diplomacy, geopolitics, and international relations. They then have a secret meeting in which the media and the public are not briefed. But things are not normal in Zimbabwe. The state has been captured, and those that have captured the state have attempted to create a parallel cabinet and parallel government that has no maturity and does not understand the rules of geopolitics and diplomacy. And these immature people, the Guptas or the business people around the President Mnangagwa, the people who have been assisting this president to change the constitution by beating up people, by burning the offices of the opposition, by violating human rights and arresting opponents to this constitutional change, decided that they were going to use President Cyril Ramaphosa to try and look like he's endorsing President Mnangagwa's attempt to change the constitution to prolong his stay in power. Because this parallel government does not have government expertise, it does not have experts in diplomacy, international relations, people who understand governance, and people who understand the geopolitics around them, they decided, or let's say they made a blunder to try and use the president of not only the most powerful country in Africa, but the country that upholds democracy, human rights, and constitutionalism to try and endorse their attempt to mutilate the Zimbabwean constitution and to violate the human rights of Zimbabweans to try and achieve their ends. This has forced the South African government to make a statement and to distance itself from this parallel government. So here are the symphony of blunders that each and every leader that is in this picture, from current presidents to potential future presidents, undertook on Sunday. President Ramaphosa made the mistake of coming in good faith to Zimbabwe to try and stop a coup that could destabilize the entire region. But he came here without understanding the level of state capture and the level of rule and law breaking that is being undertaken by those that are trying to capture the state. The blunder that President Mnangagwa makes is he tries to kill two birds with one stone, or he tries to have his cake and eat it too with the coming of the most powerful president on the African continent, Cyril Ramaphosa, to Zimbabwe. He tries to have Cyril Ramaphosa mediate or mitigate this potential coup or potential civil war that might break out in Zimbabwe. That is good. But while he's doing that, he also tried to get the most powerful president in Africa to endorse this parallel cabinet that he has created, which is not created in line with ZANU-PF Constitution, ZANU-PF Congress. And the whole reason he tried to do that is that he hopes that this will also endorse that parallel cabinet's attempt to manipulate and to mutilate the Zimbabwean constitution in order for him to stay in power longer, but also for him to pass the baton to a person from the parallel cabinet and not from the succession line that has been laid out by ZANU-PF. Now, according to ZANU-PF rules, the next person that is supposed to take over after President Mnangagwa is the next in seniority, or the person they agreed to take over after they removed Robert Mugabe, and that would be the Vice President Constantine Chiwenga, or a person that will be elected at the ZANU-PF Congress next year. But it is said that President Mnangagwa prefers a member of his parallel cabinet by the name of Kudata Gure. That's this man over here. He's a billionaire, the biggest sanctions buster in the country, and a man that many see as somebody that is building the country. But he has a lot of controversy surrounding him. And he is not part of what it is that ZANU-PF has currently accepted through its Congress. Part 2 will explain a little more about this man and the men that were standing behind the presidents and the blunder that took place on Sunday.